So you see this jacket? It's one of the jackets I picked up as swag when I worked as a record rep for MCA Records back in the 1990s. My job? Well, I was a marketing and sales rep for one of the biggest record companies in the whole world. The sad thing was, though, that everyone knew me as Tim from MCA, and that kind of bugged me. I didn't really want to be known by the identity from MCA, and yet I kind of did want it. So that was confusing to me, but that kind of thing happens when you're young and trying to figure life out. But as I got older and wiser, I came to realize that I'm not really my job. I am my work. I began to notice how much emphasis I put into the jobs that I have, but sometimes I struggled with doing the things that I was passionate about. So I came to the conclusion that there must be a big difference between your job and your work. And this simple context shift helped me see my days in brand new light. It separated me from being known for the job that I have and encouraged me to look deeper into the freedom of doing work that I love. What I didn't realize back then is that my job was consuming me. It took great big bites out of my self-esteem because the job really had nothing to do with the content of my character. Instead, it really had everything to do with the perks that I could deliver to my customers. So I literally gave away tens of thousands of CDs and t-shirts, posters, concert tickets, trips, prizes, and backstage passes in order to earn radio airplay, CD sales, and primo shelf space at the record stores that I'd go and visit. I was identified by my job. If you looked up the definition of a job in the dictionary, you'd learn that a job is a paid position of regular employment. It involves money. A job provides you with cold hard cash in exchange for your skills or your time. And let's face it, most people need a job so you can put a roof over your head and food in your belly every day. The definition of work, on the other hand, is much different. It's an activity involving mental or physical effort done in order to achieve a purpose or result. The striking word that stands out in that definition to me is the word purpose. So you are your work. The effort you put into yourself will bring you a purpose or a result. My job at MCA was really a blast, especially because I was a 24-year-old young man who was single and eager to entertain and delight people. But it kicked the living shit out of me, though, too. It was exhausting because it required me to be in the office at 8:30 in the morning and then hang out with rock stars and customers at night. And that might sound like fun, but it was exhausting. And I decided to hang in the towel after only about 4 years. It took me another 2 years after that to finally feel rested and focus on myself. The interesting thing about that experience is that when I left MCA, I felt like I lost part of my identity too. I wasn't known as Tim from MCA anymore. I was just Tim Tamashiro, the guy who used to work at MCA but now does who knows what. And I fell into the trap of believing that any job that I would ever have would be an important part of my identity. It's happened other times in my life too. But looking back, I realize now that the jobs I've had did have a big impact on my identity. And that's because jobs come with things like relationships, expectations, responsibilities, and titles. I've been known as Tim from MCA, Tim the jazz singer, Tim the CBC radio host, Tim the Ikigai guy. But more importantly, at the end of the day, I am just Tim, the guy who wants to have the most rewarding life possible. So, how do I make that happen? There's an old saying that goes, if you don't prioritize your life, someone else will. And we live in a world that puts a huge priority on success, rank, and the class that we're in, and the privileges that we gain from the positions that we hold. But they're all fake. The jobs that I've had have slotted me into categories that other people understand my place in the world, not how I understand it. So now the way that I choose to see myself is by my work. My work is what I do in order to achieve a greater purpose. So I figured out my Ikigai, the reason why I get out of bed in the morning. That reason, by the way, is to delight people, because I feel that I'm most rewarded, most thrilled, and at my best when I am delighting. So I prioritize finding ways to do just that. I love going for a walk with my dog and maybe having a chat with a neighbor. I love singing a song to a crowd. I love smiling at a stranger and giving them a compliment as I pass by them on a walkway. I love making these YouTube videos. By knowing my true north now, I'm able to simply be me each day, even at my jobs. So I bring more of myself to my jobs, and that is not only a huge benefit for me, but also to the people that I serve, and my community, and my family, the world, in fact, in general. So if you've found yourself too focused on your job and not on your work, well, I hope that this simple context shift will help you understand that what you really might need is more you. Because you are not your job. You are your work. And I've learned that when you shift your focus from how everyone else knows you to how you know yourself, your days just feel lighter and more hopeful.